This is Capital City with Capital J. Did you know a 2015 study concluded that murder was the cause of 51.5% of U.S. hip-hop musician deaths?
51.5%.
Right.
Damn.
Now, this figure could be skewed because rap in general isn't old enough to have rappers that have reached the point where they die of old age. So when rappers die, it's generally considered a premature death. This is Capital City with Capital J. Hey, baby.
It's another week.
Yes, indeed. Are we celebrating? We got to make up reasons to celebrate, people. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a real reason. Just give me any old reason. I got something to drink, and I want to drink it.
It's 4 episodes.
4 episodes. Here's the 4 episodes.
Yeah, let's get this cheers.
Clink, clink.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Messing with that white,
Woo.
man. I got me that brown.
I'm going to drink a little bit of...
And you got that chasing.
Yeah, I had to chase a little bit and then pour a little on the ground. For today's topic,
Man.
we poured a little bit on the ground for all the
Where did that
loss.
come from?
You know, I don't know. Somebody at some point decided they were going to stand over their homeboy's grave
Right.
and drink with him.
And drink with him.
Yeah.
Ho said, don't pour it to the ground next time, throw it up.
Throw it up. Well, since we're on the subject of funerals and whatnot,
Man.
we're going to talk about the world's most dangerous profession.
In the world, Craig. Not just the city, but the world.
And the world's most dangerous profession is, drum roll please, rapper.
Say what?
Rapper / MC. World's most dangerous profession. According to us right now. Did you know a 2015 study concluded that murder was the cause of 51.5% of U.S. hip-hop musician deaths?
51.5%.
Right.
Damn.
Now, this figure could be skewed because rap in general isn't old enough to have rappers that have reached the point where they die of old age. So when rappers die, it's generally considered a premature death because most of them are under the age of 70 where you'll start dying of natural causes, of course.
Right. Except Big Psych.
The
only one.
Natural causes.
Right. That's crazy.
My man, 50 grand. Now, let's go back to the beginning, where we always start. Hip-hop experienced its first real big heartbreaking death in 1987 when Scott LaRock was shot and killed on August 27th. Little did we know that some 30-some years later, that murder would be the main cause of death for hip-hop artists.
That's crazy.
Now, when Scott LaRock was killed in 1987, the hip-hop community mourned, and we rode for Scott LaRock for a really long time.
Right.
Because back then, he was the biggest name and the only name. It took 9 years before hip-hop experienced a death that had as much impact or shocked as many people as Scott LaRock did, and that was when Tupac was killed. Now, a year after that, there goes Biggie.
Right.
A year later, Fat Pat. Some of y'all may be like, who's Fat Pat? If you're from Texas, you know damn well who Fat Pat is.
Right.
A year after that, Big L. A year after that, well, not even a year later, a month later, Freaky Ty.
Yeah, that was one right there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all huge deals. You see what I'm saying? To lose Big L and Freaky Ty back to back in New York City, that was a tough time. 1999 was ugly.
And you think about like the climate of things back then when, because from 87 to what we up to now, 90 what?
2000. To where we are on the list?
Yeah.
99.
Okay. And
We're only in 1999.
Yeah, and of course we know there's some other folks that's missing from this list, but at the same time you gotta look at like the struggle was real, and you know everybody was putting their real life in their music. So if they rapped about certain things, it was almost guaranteed they lived that lifestyle.
Right. Indeed. But you know what? I think you will see the murder rate amongst rappers go up a little bit as the content turns more towards glorifying the violence of the drug game.
Absolutely.
You know, we talked about the impact of crack on hip hop. And now you're seeing the effect is, you know, a lot of these murders, not saying it's all over drugs or this or that, but the comfort that the community had with violence comes from the crack game.
Absolutely.
And it spills right over into hip hop. So next thing you know, Bugs, he was the original member of D12. Mm-hmm. He was killed. 99. 99 was a bad year. That's 3 right there. Uncle Al, Miami bass pioneer, shot, killed, 2001. Jam Master Jay, 2002. Sabotage, 2003. Camouflage, 2003. You remember Camouflage? Let's be cut friends, you and I.
Right.
Half a Meal, 2003.
Half a Meal, that's who I was talking about.
That's who you were trying to think about?
Meal.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was in 2003. I thought it was later than that.
Shot and killed right in New York City.
Yeah, just dropped the second album.
Yeah.
Most of the people you naming on this list was at the peak of their career.
Right. And you know, after we finish naming these people, and this is just an abbreviated list. You got to believe me. When I tell you that it's 20 times as many people as we're about to name, it really is. But we're naming the people that we think you might know.
Right.
Soulja Slim.
Whoo.
That hurt.
Yeah.
2003.
Got killed in his mama house.
Mac Dre. Yeah, right in the front yard.
Yeah.
Mac Dre. 2004.
Yeah.
My Detroit people, Blade Icewood and Proof. Within days, that's a year, about a year apart. Mm-hmm. Big Hawk, we're going back to Texas. Shot and killed. Dollar, you remember him? Dollar, he was just up and coming, and he got killed at a Galleria somewhere in Los Angeles. Magnolia Shorty, chilling, sitting in a car.
Right. Stacks Bundles. Doe B, the Jacker. He's an artist from Oakland. A lot of you might not know him, but I was a fan of the Jacker. You know, I do a job that keeps me listening to all kind of music, and I thought that he was an up-and-coming guy, and he didn't make it. He was back when Razzcast was bumping, right?
Well, he's a little bit after Razzcast. He passed in 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay, mm-hmm. okay.
Chinks Drugs was 2015 also. Bankroll Fresh, 2016. Yeah. XXX Tentacion.
Some of these are tragic murders, man.
Yeah.
Gruesome, I should say. Not tragic, but gruesome.
Right. And old Triple X Tentacion was killed the same day as Jimmy Wopo. Yep. Pennsylvania, Philly, y'all know who that is. Young Greatness.
Yeah.
That's 2018. Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, and most recently, you remember Huey? Pop, Lock, and Drop It. Right. Pop, Lock, and Drop It. Shot and killed. Damn. Here's one that a whole lot of people didn't know about that flew under the radar.
Who's that?
Cali Swag District. You remember them guys?
Right.
The saying, teach you how to Dougie?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. How many of those guys are still alive? There were 4 of them. Mm-hmm. 2 of them dead.
Damn. 2018, Insane Wayne.
Insane Wayne.
Older brother, the drummer boy. It's crazy.
But it's so tough out here. You're talking about a group that put out a hit. And, you know, a few years later, half the group is dead.
And they were from where?
They're from Cali.
Cali.
Right. It's tough out there.
Yeah. You know, Jamel Hill talked about rappers and NBA players sometimes have almost like buyer's remorse where they kind of feel bad that their people are still in the environment that they just left. So in some ways, they can't leave that environment themselves, and that might be, well, a lot of the people that you listed, they died in their own neighborhoods.
Right. That's a lot of the problem is not being able to escape. But why does that lead to death for a rapper and not for basketball players? You don't know any basketball players dead from hanging out in the hood. Paul Pierce got stabbed in the club.
Yeah.
But, other than that, Plaxico Burress took a gun, shot himself in the leg.
Right.
But, rappers are right in the middle of it.
Yeah, but they're not still in that environment. Like the average rapper or athletic person that, gets that statue of millions or whatever, they go by the house on the hill. They might be out partying in Miami or Vegas or some shit, somebody with them from back home.
Which goes to a point that I was about to make.
Okay.
Let's talk about the reasons. We just talked about a whole lot of people dead, and these are just rappers that have been shot and killed. When we talk about a dangerous job, there's a whole nother list of rappers.
Oh, can I?
Yes, indeed.
Let me give you this.
There's a whole other list of rappers. Like, it's not that rappers are just dying from being shot and killed.
Right. Like, we got, I guess the first notable one was Eazy-E, AIDS, Big Pun, heart attack,
Food,
Heavy D, embolism burst in his head, Nate Dogg, heart failure, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, car crash, Phife Dawg, diabetes, Pimp C, cocaine overdose, Jay Dilla, cardiac arrest, Old Dirty Bastard, overdose, as we talked about before, Big Sight, natural causes, Shorty Low, car accident, Big Hank, cancer, MCA, cancer, Guru, cancer, MC Breed, kidney failure.
Now, when you start talking about all these people, rap in itself, like if we're gonna date rap to 1979, you're talking about rap itself is 41 years old as an officially recognized art form that that's on the radar.
Same age as me.
So people participating in it have not reached the point where they should be dying of natural causes. So let's explore, ladies and gentlemen, why is being a rapper so dangerous? We'll get to the health factors. Like, make sure that before we get out of here, DL, that we address some of the underlying things about living this lifestyle that will cause you to die an early death from cardiac arrest, diabetes, and all that stuff. We're going to get to that. But first, let's talk about these dudes who got shot.
You got a commercial. Let's pay some bills. Okay.
Give me a moment. We're going to dig some good stuff up because I don't like just run any old commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But in the meantime, before we take a break, let's talk about these guys that got shot.
Okay.
All right. And why? Now, we know that, of course, there's beef and nobody really knows why. But why, in general, is being a rapper so dangerous? Okay. Let's think about the factors that we know. Like, this is not the end-all to the discussion, okay? We're just brainstorming here. Let's talk about what we know about hip-hop. A lot of rappers, what environment? A lot of rappers come from, an environment of struggle.
Right.
You have a few that, even the ones that did not come from an environment of struggle where they had to scrap and figure out where the next meal was coming from, a lot of them go out of their way to put themselves through that at some point. So they have something to draw from when they get to where they're going. You got dudes come from perfectly good families and got plenty of money, but at some point they were out there living the life.
Right.
know.
That's confusing to me. And the reason why I say it's confusing is because you take the group DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, right?
Right.
Fresh Prince was not no street dude.
Never pretended to be.
And he won, or he took rap to heights that nobody thought it would go when he won that Grammy.
And that was 1988.
You know what I mean? Like, so my question is, how did we get here? Because this is still happening right now. From, you know, because everybody always talk about the you know, the pioneers of hip hop and all that stuff, and you know, but how did we get here from? And during that time, you know, it was during the transition from the early hip hop styles to what we have now. Because you know, during that
Right.
80s period, that lyricism started coming into play.
Right. Well, you just made a great point. Let's jump on the first thing. What you just said brings us to point number one.
Okay.
The rapper from the lyricist era, you're talking about a guy, you know, people who are about deep thought, you know, composing words, you know, putting that stuff together. Not saying every now and then you won't find a guy that shoot you and then rap about it in the most eloquent way possible.
Right.
But in general, the guys who are rapping were not the street thugs.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We're all in, you know, as the black community, we all know each other and love each other. We all love the street thugs in our lives, and we all love the rappers. Right. We love the producers. We know people who go to work every day, and we all coexist.
Absolutely.
But at some point, the street guy started rapping. Let's use Eazy-E as an example.
Good start.
Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, they are not what Eazy-E was.
Absolutely.
By any means, by any stretch of the imagination, don't you get it twisted. Eazy-E was a real deal street thug.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he was a gangster. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These other guys were artists. Artists are not quite as likely to be involved in street stuff.
Right.
You know, they're there because as an artist, you get a pass.
Right.
You can be anywhere you want to be.
Right.
And people know you're going to come with something, some heat, then you're allowed. At some point, the thug dude say, I could do this too. Because these rappers, they be talking about this stuff that I ain't trying to hear.
Right.
So, somebody said, we're going to cater our music to these guys. And when you do that, the only way you're going to get authenticity out of the deal is, you know, you're going to have a street cat present to either get the story from or learn the game from, or he's going to rap it himself.
Right.
In the case of NWA, they said, man, ain't nothing harder than what Eazy been through. Man. Why not put Eazy behind the mic?
And you know, it's nothing more intriguing than the bad guy.
Yeah, you're hearing it firsthand.
Right.
So now your likelihood of having rappers get shot and killed has just increased 50% because now you have included the guys that was shooting and killing each other outside of hip hop.
Well, we can't throw, not really blame, but you know, we gotta talk about the fact that the machine had a lot to do with it too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get around to that. But first, you take the street competition part of the game. Like before street dudes was rapping, they were competing with other street dudes on other things. Who got the best car? Who got that's my girl. No, that's my girl.
Absolutely.
This is my corner. No, that's my corner. These are my dudes. No, they my dudes. And next thing you know, them dudes set you up. You see what I'm saying? There's always a competition out here.
Right.
And there's always a competition in hip hop. In the streets, competition is deadly. In hip hop, there's no consequence for competition. You just go out, you battle rap, you insult dude, make him feel stupid. He ain't gonna come back and kill you.
Right.
But you insult a street dude.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not going to sit here and out rap a cat. You done killed 3 people already.
No, you probably won't even get in the ring with him.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying this is the only thing that happens. We just
right, because I was gonna say, what about when them street dudes around when the rapper is just being a rapper? Because it is that such thing called hate out there that just
Yeah, we're gonna get to all of that. We just jumping from one area to the next.
Right.
The first thing we covered is the fact that the streets infiltrated the artistic side of the game. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's first. So now they're involved. As the audience grows, we want this in the music. So we bring the streets into the music. Then guys start getting shot. But it's not all over. I'm not saying it's over rap beef. That's the Tupac and Biggie side of it. We'll get to that.
Right.
That's rap beef. But people like Scott LaRock, that's just a plain old case of, hey, man, streets.
Scott LaRock was a street dude too, though.
Scott LaRock had a college degree. Mm-hmm. He worked as he was a social worker. But people who knew Scott LaRock say he was also a street guy. I'm not saying he was a drug dealer. He was a street guy. He had street credibility, and he moved amongst the streets. Right. So when he got killed, nobody said it was anything other than at some point he had got into a street beef. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's sad, but when that happened, that wasn't the norm. Right. Right. All those people that we named lately, those are the guys you know. For every guy you know, I promise you there's 10 more you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the hate part of it is, let's move straight on to the hate part of it. Okay. There's a period of time for a rapper that is the most dangerous time that you could be out there operating. It is the time between when you make that first hit single and the time you make enough money to get yourself and your family out of there. Right. That's when these dudes get killed. Yep. 50 Cent, he's not gonna fall victim to this. He went through this when he made his first song.
Before he had money.
Mm-hmm. He got shot 9 times in the face. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. And he made it out. Right. But the streets were there waiting for him, and he was in that period. There's a whole lot of dudes. Gucci Mane could be dead right now. He made his first song. Dudes came in to rob him. He was lucky enough to have killed them dudes and escaped. But they were after him. Mm-hmm. It's that period of time. You make your first single. Here's what happens. You and all these people from your city are all rappers on the same level. Right. Just guys trying to make it. And then one of y'all makes a song. Everybody in the country loves that song. Mm-hmm. All those dudes are not equals anymore. Right. You have just elevated ahead to the head of the pack. The problem is, just because your song is popular, you're not making money yet. Right. So your song's on the radio. You did a show. You went to a concert, you performed for 10,000 people. Everybody loved it. Girls are shouting your name. When it was all said and done, you went right back to whatever house you were living in when you recorded that song. Right. Now, people equate fame with wealth.
Absolutely.
They don't go together. You hear me? They are not parallels. Just because you're famous does not mean you're going to be wealthy. And just because you're wealthy does not mean you'll be famous. Right. So
Life taught me that. Whew.
Right. So what happens is these dudes become famous but not wealthy. Mm-hmm. And when you're not wealthy, everybody thinks, since people equate wealth and fame together, the people around you think you're wealthy. Right. You're not. You're just famous.
Right. It's a difference.
It's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And when that happens, now the people who are the types to rob, steal, take advantage of anybody they think they had more than they need.
The police.
Police too. Everybody's after you.
Right.
Because you look like you have something that they want. Absolutely. Or want to take from you.
Yep.
So,
including your life.
Right. But the problem is, you don't have the money to get out yet. So, What do these guys do? They double down and try to prove their loyalty and allegiance
Right.
to the hood they from,
Right.
because they know that they're not wealthy.
Right.
So if I'm famous and not wealthy, and the whole hood thinks I got money, then I need to take care of the hood.
Right.
And I need to make sure that you know, so now they shooting videos right in the hood. Everybody's out there.
Everybody out there.
Dudes out here and got killed. You go back and watch their videos. The dude that shot him is right there bobbing their head to the beat.
Yep.
Because they invited the whole hood out.
It's crazy.
Now, that, for me, I think is probably a lot of the main problem. Because when you reach that level where the millions of dollars start coming in, dudes move away and they get security.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden, a club show, you don't show up by yourself.
Mm-mm.
Show up with 5 security guards, armored car,
All kinds of shit.
police escort, you know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, take a Doe B. He out here doing shows. He's not rich. He's not wealthy.
Right.
But he had a feature. He got on with T.I. and went back to Alabama. So everybody in Alabama is like, oh, he must be paid then.
He food.
Right. And he's gone now.
That's the fucked up part.
That's the fucked up part.
Right. Yeah. But you know, you keep talking about this subject of them getting killed and I guess reasons. Like I look at the Nipsey Hussle murder, you know, a little different than I hear most people talk about, because it was like, to me, Nipsey Hussle had millions. You know?
He had the money to separate.
Yeah, but he
didn't.
Right, and what, even to go a step further, is what ultimately got him killed was him living this street as a street.
When he was a millionaire.
When he was a millionaire, you know, and you know that, like, shit. I was always, man, I can't wait till I get some money so I can do this or do that, you know. And a part of it was to build up my community, but it was never because that's not my community no more once I reach a certain status. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like your community is what you living amongst right now. And yeah, that's your foundation, but it's got to be a separation.
It's hard to separate. Because here's what happens. When you start talking about $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, that kind of money comes with a different lifestyle.
Absolutely.
You cannot take that kind of money into the places you used to go. There's nobody else there with that kind of money, so you stick out like a sore thumb. Nobody else has a Rolex on.
Food.
Nobody's driving a Lamborghini.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? $600 T-shirts, $2,000 shoes. Don't nobody do that.
Some people look at it as you showing off.
Showing off. That's exactly what you're doing.
You know?
But the thing is, when you show off in a place where nobody else has it, you're asking for trouble.
Asking for what?
Asking for trouble. That's why rich people hang around rich people.
Right.
Now, when you're a rapper, you're the only dude from your town that just got a couple of mil, or like, let's even take some of these Memphis cats, for example. Suppose like Yo Gotti and what's the name? Don't get along.
Dolph.
Yo Gotti and Young Dolph not getting along.
Right.
They're the 2 biggest names in the city.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even within that city,
they threw 100
the
shots
2 guys.
at Dolph.
Yeah, the even with those 2 guys right there, the 2 hottest names in the city.
Yeah.
With the most money for rappers.
Right.
They can't even hang with each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
Young Dolph is rich, and that means that the people he hang with, he gotta make them rich. So they don't look at him as food.
Feed the wolves.
You see what I'm saying? Or he could just go hang out at Yo Gotti house.
Right.
Another rich guy. You see what I'm saying? Or Juicy J or somebody. You know.
Yeah.
One of them other Memphis cats.
Right.
But the thing is, when you want to hang with your day ones, and they ain't got nothing, you got to break bread.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you a target at the end of the day because all your day one, some of them are just jealous, and you'll never know how jealous they are, you know?
Till you laying on the ground looking up.
Right. And then you got, let's talk about another thing. Gang affiliations. Some of these cats, and I'm not saying this is the case for a whole lot of people, and I don't even have one example, but you've seen this. I can't give you a direct example where somebody got killed because of this particular situation I'm talking about, but you've seen this come up before. You've seen rappers affiliate themselves in a lifestyle that they don't really live just to further their career.
Absolutely. Shout out Plies.
From what I hear, 6ix9ine.
Right.
You know, a lot of the word is that his affiliation with the gang is what helped him advance his career. But then when it came time to be a banger,
right.
you know, he want to tell and get out of jail.
Right. He was gang, but he ain't never want to bang.
Right. Right. And
Can't talk about him.
That will get you killed.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole lot of rappers, like I said, the ones you don't hear about. These, you know, a lot of these guys, you start getting a little bit popular, you gang affiliated. Hey, I mean, we don't know what happened to Pop Smoke, but we know he's gang affiliated. He came from New York and went to L.A.
Right. Well, he posted his address.
Posted his address too.
State. Yeah.
But
so the Wolves.
And in general, you know, we haven't in general, hip hop hasn't been too kind for one person from one city going to another city and just hanging out like that's where they from. Like
that's T.I.
Don't work that like T.I., Trick Daddy, Trick. Like there's plenty of instances, Tupac, Biggie, like, you know, there's plenty of instances where people just not, like, you just don't come in this city and think you're gonna take it over.
Right.
You know, there's already people who have established their dominance in these areas. Absolutely. So when you come in, you gotta watch your step. So a lot of people don't know how to move from place to place. I'm not saying that's what happened to Pop Smoke, but he was in L.A. sleeping.
That's crazy.
Biggie in L.A. sleeping.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Tupac in L.A. sleeping. Vegas, my bad. Yeah. Sleeping.
Right.
Because what make you think you're going to beat up anybody?
Yeah, and just get away
and just, with it. Like, I mean, that was what, 1997, 98?
96, Tupac.
96? Like, yeah. I knew better than that then. Like, anytime if you're out anywhere and you get into it with somebody, your head needs to be on a swivel for the next 2-3 weeks.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Especially if you stomp them down with a group.
Right. With a group.
And
especially if you's one of the hottest rappers.
You think that dude not looking for you? So, you know, people gotta be careful the way they move. And that, you know, hip hop in general, man, we've been through 3 things so far. One is just plain old can't get out of the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got regular old street beef coming into hip hop. And then you got dudes out here sleeping. Like, you forget that, you know, you're famous and people around you are hungry.
Absolutely.
And cats out here walking around like everything's sweet, and it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Better wait.
Young Greatness was at the Waffle House. And I'm pretty sure he'd probably been in that Waffle House a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but anybody who's looking to make a name for themselves out here thugging, you know, it does a whole lot more for if you kill Young Greatness than some old bum off the street.
Like, look at what's his name? Troy Ave. Troy Ave, his homeboy Banger got killed because Troy Ave had beef with a podcaster. And the podcaster and Troy Ave, you know, they was throwing shots back and forth on podcasting on music and whatever, subliminal messages.
Mm-hmm.
But when they saw each other, I guess it was on site, and his guy ended up getting killed behind it.
Was this the club shootout?
Yeah.
It was all on film?
Right. And but now you see Troy Ave got his podcast, and Troy Ave talking all this positive stuff, and the streets is a myth and all this other stuff. And I'm like, but you've been talking about money the whole time. Like, why was you even in that environment if you got all this money? Like, it's so. And my point of saying that is because it seems like it runs so deep through us. Some of us, because not all the rappers are like this, and we're not just gonna say all the rappers are, but it's only a few rappers that actually make it to the main stage anyway.
Right.
So of that number of them, it's a large number of them who be, just doing bull and like my cousin would say, looking at the church's money.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, we almost lost Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
Like, and that's mess. Like, think about this. You don't expect that somebody who's this far into the game and making money like this, Tory Lanez or Megan Thee Stallion, even be involved in such foolishness. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think that, just looking at history, like we saw this coming at some point, but we just didn't know who, because they did. What happened with them is similar to what happened with Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Right.
It's just on 10.
Yeah, but the difference is like I can't for the life of me figure out how Chris Brown got past that. Like, he beat Rihanna like that, and how did his career not suffer? I don't get it.
It did. I think it did. Because
I don't see it.
I think that Chris Brown now at this point in his career, when they still won't even make the comparison of him being one of the greatest ever. You don't hear them say that about Chris Brown, but he is.
I think if you give it a little bit of time, he might get to that status.
A little bit of time. Do you know how much time it's been?
I think, the problem
like
with Chris
20?
Brown being the greatest ever is that all the greatest evers usually do more than just sing. Right? Even a R. Kelly, for example. Like, let's take R. Kelly, somebody who got just as many problems, and he gets that greatness attached to him a lot. And you gotta think about it though. He writes them songs, he produces them songs, he produces songs for other people, writes songs for other people, and sing them songs, and he can sing real good.
Well, Chris Brown do all that except actually do the beats.
So he's responsible for the writing and all of this good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he might be on his way, but I think he got a little bit more work to do. Yeah, he's gonna have to overcome beating up a girl.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But his career didn't seem to suffer though. It didn't feel like he slowed down a bit.
It's funny that we ended up talking about Chris Brown, because I always say it seemed like the guys in Virginia got a curse on them or something.
Who else?
Shit, look at Trey Songz now. Look at Allen Iverson. Look at Michael Vick.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But at least Timberland stayed out of trouble.
Man, he went crazy.
Timberland went crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, man, we're going to have to make a whole show about that.
I'm my bad for saying he went crazy, but he had an episode, And this was after he did the album with Jay-Z. Yeah, he had an episode. His wife called 911 and he was threatening to kill himself,
Did not remember that.
Yeah, it's been a minute ago. He come back since then. I salute him. He came.
Maybe it is rough on the Virginia cats.
Man,
Lady of Rage.
Yeah. What happened to her?
Well, she made a few cameos in some movies. I think when Death Row folded, it kind of put her career on hiatus. You know what I mean?
Right.
I always heard she wasn't nothing to play with though.
Street dude, number one street dude, Suge Knight, right?
Hey, and look, and let's outside of how dangerous it is to be a rapper, like we also look how many rappers have killed people, had to kill people, not had to kill people, but how many rappers have killed people? Like when you get in this hip hop game, I think the main thing of this is you really need to think about what you're stepping into. I've been a DJ for 30 some years.
Damn.
And There was a stretch. There was probably a 10-year stretch. 32. Well, no, 34. Yeah. I got paid first time to DJ a party about 34 years ago. So when I think back, I can think of a 10-year stretch where once a year when I was DJing, at least once a year somebody would get killed at or outside of the party I was DJing.
Absolutely.
During a 10-year stretch. And, you know, when you sign up to be in the hip-hop game, you sign up to be around this.
Right.
And the Bullet don't have no name.
Did you ever get a chance to do a set or anything at D's Lounge?
Is that, where was that? Rocky Mount?
Princeville,
D's Lounge. Blue, Winstead just on it.
Yeah.
I didn't DJ in there, but I used to go, so I've been there before a few times.
Okay.
Did not DJ in there, yeah, but I'm very familiar.
I want to talk to him real soon to see, you know what I'm saying, to make that connection of music and the club owner.
Right. Yeah, we should dial him up one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you'll find though, man, is that it's real dangerous out here, not just for a rapper, but just being involved in this period, especially for that stretch, the 90s into the 2000s.
Right.
It was ugly out here.
I think that's the reason I don't know how to dance.
Yeah, man, like going to the club, you risking your life out here. And if you're a rapper, you going to a place that's already dangerous.
Right.
And then you making yourself the centerpiece in this dangerous environment. You say, hey, everybody, look at me. Look what I can do. Look what I got. I got more than you.
Right.
Watch me walk out of here. Look at me shine.
Right.
Look at me bling.
Mm-hmm.
Watch me go to my car. And I ain't just gonna get in and leave.
Right. I'm gonna let you.
Open the door. I'm gonna cut my music on.
Right.
You know, this is what it was like back in the day, and that type of attention usually will bring some kind of negative feedback eventually. You know, and that's how you end up once a year. And sometimes a rapper, but sometimes just somebody who came to the club to party. You know, so the whole entire hip hop shouldn't be as dangerous as it is.
Well, I think that's a good segue into what you told me to remind you to talk about.
Well, remind me.
The unhealthiness of the lifestyle.
The unhealthiness of the lifestyle, because we already talked about 51% of rappers are murdered, but that's not all the deaths. Like, they still dying. You got all these other reasons.
Right.
Give me some of the reasons that you had on the list again. Like, I remember
heart failure.
Yeah, cardiac arrest and
overdose. Kidney failure.
AIDS.
Cancer.
Right. Now, cancer is something, of course, that, you know, maybe we can't always say for 100% that was lifestyle related. Could have just been genetic.
Yeah.
But, you know, you start talking about 30 and 40-year-old dudes with cardiac arrest. You got to think about, what are these dudes rapping about? Man, smoking, drinking all night.
But these dudes ain't 30 and 40 years old. Most of these guys on this list, like Shorty Low, he was an older one in his 30s. Pimp C was like, his early 30s when he passed.
Well, either way, it's still too young to be dying of cardiac arrest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or anything, you know, diabetes, all this stuff. Like, what you got to understand, you got to take care of yourself. You're into the lifestyle and you're trying to make everything happen, and you feel like you need to be at every spot. And when you're at the spot and you got a little bit of money, as soon as you walk in, you don't pay for drinks.
Right.
People want to smoke everything with you. You develop this insane tolerance for alcohol and drugs.
Absolutely.
And even though you've developed the tolerance and you think it's not affecting you, what you're doing is destroying your body over time, year by year.
Right.
And, you know, rappers get to mid-30s and they're like 60-year-old men.
Body. Yep.
You know, can't take it anymore. Lil Wayne had to take a break. Rick Ross had to take a break. Like, guys got to step back and get healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne was scaring me, man. I couldn't look at him on TV.
Right. You know, the lifestyle. You see dudes dying right in front of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to change we got to change so much about hip hop to make it healthy. Like right now, I got 2 kids. Everybody's like, trying to steer them into DJing. Hell no. Yeah, of course I'm not gonna send my kids to become DJs. Where they gonna DJ? Like, do I feel comfortable knowing that for a stretch of time my kids might be in a club every weekend working?
Yeah.
No. No, I do not. Because I was in that environment working. I worked it for 30 years.
Right.
And
it's different.
It ain't like,
But you I guess you got to give credit to your kids though, because there's so much variety now that type of the crowd that the music brings is like so wide range that you can have like it's more. And I know that because of bullshit happening, a lot of those real street clubs closed down, but a lot of those real street clubs ain't even around no more.
Right. That's probably why we don't see what we used to see, because just time has legislated these jokers right off the map.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You just can't open a building and have stuff going on like you used to. It's required now that you're gonna have to have a certain amount of security presence involved, and
right.
And you're gonna have to check IDs a little bit more than you used to, because
yep.
these cities that had these murders happening surrounding these clubs, they locked down.
Right.
We right here in Durham, and I remember a time when Durham was full of clubs. We used to come from all over North Carolina to party in Durham.
Mm-hmm. Changed.
You're not coming to Durham to party now if you're not from Durham.
Right.
Because the day of the big club that drew people in like that is over.
Right.
And what killed it is all these people getting killed.
Yeah.
It became too hard to congregate. People now, they go for smaller venues, the lounge type atmospheres.
Mm-hmm.
You got one big club still really thriving in Raleigh. And they're doing their thing, but they're in a place where it's easy to police the crowd
right.
coming in and out.
Everything.
Yeah. Anybody else, they haven't been able to control what's going on inside of their venue to maintain. I always used to say any club, from what I've seen, a club has a 2-year lifespan.
Mm.
You got 6 months. The first 6 months, people talking about it and it's blowing up.
Right.
6 months in, it's in full swing.
Right.
You get a year strong, then somebody get killed, and you got 6 more months of it dwindling to the point that you can't afford to pay it no more because people ain't trying to come over there and get shot.
Look, man,
2 years.
I used to go to a club where it had a fence all the way around the club, a chain link fence.
Mm.
But when you got ready to turn in, they had to search your car.
Over there, 301 in Rocky Mount.
Yeah.
With the not Browns.
No, not 301 in Rocky Mount. This is
I remember one of the spots in Rocky Mount like that where you had to turn to the parking lot and they searched everything before you got into the park. Sluggos was like that too, wasn't it? You remember Sluggos? But anyway, these are clubs way out in eastern North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I remember pulling into that parking lot. There was a guy with a shotgun at the fence.
Uh-huh.
It was like ID and, shine the light all through your car before you even go park your car in the fence. So they're trying to cut all that out.
Right.
But yeah, it's dangerous out here, and it's dangerous for DJs too. I know a DJ got shot at a party.
Man. Those dirt road clubs, those clubs that was, way out somewhere.
Yeah, I've been in a bunch of those too.
Yeah, down the road somewhere. Could you imagine going there as an artist? Well, because you know how dangerous they was then.
I remember when Chubb Rock was first becoming a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a dance contest, a club in Greenville or Rocky Mount somewhere.
Okay.
And whoever won the dance contest was supposed to be able to travel from the radio station to the place where Chubb Rock was performing or something like that.
Okay.
So they get out there somewhere outside of Greenville somewhere, I think. And, they get out there, Chubb Rock bus pull up. They shot the bus up. The girl who won the dance contest got shot. You see what I'm saying? And this is, like, so it's bigger than just the rappers.
Right.
Like, of course rappers are going to get shot every now and then because people at the club get killed too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, like, it's amazing. Beef, I seen dudes stabbed in the club.
Mm-hmm.
In the club.
In the club.
Stabbed.
Right.
Nobody even knew he was stabbed. He walked right by me. And I look on the ground, it's like a 2-foot wide trail of blood from the back of the club out the door, died in the parking lot.
Damn. That's crazy.
This is what you signing up for, or this is what you were signing up for. It might be different now, but I decided a long time ago I ain't gonna be out here every weekend no more like this. You know, I got 2 kids and a wife, and I really want to be around. I want to live to 80, 90 years old.
Right.
And I don't want no stupid mess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen enough parties, enough clubs. I ain't got to be there.
Right. I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, did we cover?
We covered a lot.
Yeah, we covered a lot, man. It feels like, and you know, the sad part is, I know there's so many people that we didn't even get to.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, you know, we just named some of the more notable people.
Right.
But man, this is, you know, every day. Like if I find I just named you the people that you know. I'm gonna go through this thing real quick. Let's talk about just this year, people that you might not know of.
Just this year alone.
Just this year alone, people that you never heard of. That died this year. You ever heard of a rapper named Kevin Fret?
Nope.
About Lexi Alice?
Nope.
Oh shoot, Fifth Ward Weebie. I didn't even know he was dead.
He died this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Fifth Ward Weebie's gone. Big Buddha, D Dave, China Rogers, Nick Blixey. Like these are guys you never heard of, but they were popular enough that when they died, their obituary said rapper dead.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? You have to have done a little bit just to, you know, just to be called a rapper.
Right.
You know, Trey Coast, dead. Like, you know, these guys, man, these guys are young. Pop Smoke's in this list. China Rogers, young woman, you know, drug overdose.
Young woman?
Yep, about 18, 19, look like.
Wow.
Mac P Dog. Killed in Koreatown, L.A. KJ Baller, dead. This is just this year. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, it's beyond the guys you know. And this dude, Kevin Fret, the reason I threw his name out there is because in the gay community, he was like openly gay rapper from Puerto Rico.
And somebody killed him.
See, how exactly did he die? I think. Yeah, somebody shot him. He was riding his motorcycle. Somebody shot him. You see what I'm saying? So, like, the reason that 51% of rappers is you don't even know all these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's another Tech Nine who died that you, not the Kansas City Tech Nine.
Right, okay.
There's a guy from, I think he's from Philly. Yeah, he's dead. Nina Ross, the boss, gone. Willie Bowe, gone. Bushwick Bill, gone. Ghetto Boys, remember Bushwick?
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Like Jimmy Spicer, he died, but he had brain and lung cancer. But Jimmy Spicer is a rap pioneer. You probably heard Dollar Bill, y'all. Dollar Bill, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all. Do. Yeah, old school joint. But, you know, he's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hella Sketchy is dead. You remember him? He was signed to Atlantic. Badass. Remember him?
Yeah.
Dead.
Damn.
Slim Tristan, gone. Bank Boy Wayne, gone. Juice WRLD, dead.
Dead.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like guys are going up out of here. So here's what we want the rap community to do.
Talk to him.
First, mind the company you keep. You know, if you're gonna have your day ones, that's fine. But be careful where you go. It's not so important that you be out here flashing because guys want what you got. If you're headed on a trajectory that's gonna put you as the next Lil Wayne or whatever, don't risk everything you got to be in some hole in the wall spot.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What was that movie with my man in it? DJ. you know, Terrence, golly, what's the name?
You talking about
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow, yeah.
See what happened when Ludacris walked in there?
Right.
He walked to a hole in the wall club,
Right.
dealing with a rapper who want what he got. And what happened? He got stomped out. That's the kind of situation right there. Real life situation.
I mean,
Rapper
really
somewhere he ain't got no business, and
acting like he know.
you see what I'm saying?
He got offended when the nigga.
This happens. This stuff. This is the kind of stuff that happens. But he just got stomped out. But you know, this how people die out here.
Yep.
You got to be careful the company you keep. Rappers. Number two, you plan on getting in the game. Have a plan for real. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be moving back and forth, make sure you know who's going with you. Take back and make sure that everybody's not drunk.
Right.
You know, all this stuff matters. You got to have somebody in your circle that's going to stay sober, because there's going to be a point where you might walk in the door saying, I'm going to be safe. But after you get a few drinks, now you want to take these girls back to the hotel. You don't know them girls. You know, have your mans over there sober so he can keep an eye on these girls and make sure they're not bringing some guys to the hotel behind you to rob y'all. Take care of your body. Exercise sometimes. You're gonna have to. You can't wake up, smoke and drink for breakfast, eat fast food in the afternoon, wash it down with a codeine Sprite. You know what I'm saying? And then take some pills and stay up all night having unprotected sex. You cannot do that. It's not gonna make you live longer. It's gonna shorten your life. You understand?
Especially you got that bag in your hand. It's
right.
Crazy.
Go to the doctor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If they tell you that your blood pressure's high, do something about it. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff that, you know, you got to be careful out here, man. I want to see rappers have better longevity, and it's a real dangerous game, man. And we concerned.
And like you said, it's competitive, so the competitiveness of the game might drive some people to certain things, you know, trying to stay up one.
Right.
Because that's what it is at this point. You just got to get wound up on everybody else and make everybody else look at you.
Yep. And lastly, when you get the bag, take it and run.
That way.
Yeah, take the bag and run, man. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with getting out of the hood, man. That's what everybody wants. Like, you know, nobody trying to make $1 million to stay in the projects.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Stupid.
Get the money, get out of there.
Yeah.
Take care of your family.
Right.
And get out of there.
That's how you
Do not invest in the drug game. That's another thing. Like, you know, you might make even if you can make $10,000 for a show, that's a lot of money for a rapper. And $10,000, that might be the cost of your first chain. Bad choice. Some people want to take that 10 and invest it in some dope and try to flip it. Bad choice.
Buy some guns and flip them.
Take that money and invest it in yourself.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If you're in a place in your career where you can make $10,000 for a show, invest that money back into your own career. Don't blow it on jewelry. I promise you, you can buy some fake jewelry and nobody will know the difference.
Yep.
Nobody, because once you are perceived to have enough money to afford something, there is no longer the need to have it.
Right. Right.
You understand? Does that make sense, people?
They don't care.
Like, once people think that you're rich, you don't have to show you're rich anymore. Make sense?
Right.
I hope there's a lesson learned for these folks. You know what I'm saying? So the moment that people think you got money, you don't need a real rollie. You can buy a fake rollie. I'm not saying go buy a fake rollie, but I'm just saying that, you know, authenticity doesn't matter anymore because people seeing you from a distance. It's costume. Right. It's costume jewelry. Rich people don't walk out the house with $1 million diamond on their neck. They walk out the house with a fake $1 million diamond on their neck.
Either way you're going to look.
They got costume jewelry all the time because they understand that if I have $1 million in the bank, nobody's going to question the authenticity of my chain. So with all that being said, man, hey.
This was a dope one.
Yeah, live your life and be safe out there, man. Don't get in trouble. You know, we could do a whole nother segment on how much trouble it is, not the danger of being in hip hop.
Right.
The trouble that comes with it. That's another subject. We'll get to that another time. You know what I'm saying? Capital City. I'm your host, Capital J, my main man.
DL Glass.
We out.